BTP, Big Business Technology for Small Business.
Good morning. Yes, it's Michael here again from BTP. How are you this morning? Friday? Yeah, great. The week's ending. Coming up to Christmas. Exciting times. But look, I've got a question. Question for you. Direct to you, the person watching this. Do you know how good your backups are? Are your backups happening? What's in your backups? Have you tested them? Backups are very important, very, very important. And often people don't know what's actually happening with their backups. So look, you need to have a procedure. You need to have them tested. You need to make sure they're working. You need to make sure that they can get your business back up and running. So what do we consider a good backup? The only backup that I consider is a good backup is one that is not directly plugged into your network at the time. In other words, rotated, unplugged, not powered, not attached to USB, not attached to your network, so that you've actually got something that can't be attacked by a virus. You need something that's on a stable media, something that is fast to recover from, something that's easy to grab real quick, and something that is a complete backup, preferably backing up throughout the day, so that within any 1 hour of the day, you can recover your systems back to that point. Now, let's go a bit further into this. So, most of the backup technologies now have moved on from file-based backup to image-based backup. If you're still using a file-based backup system, it takes a lot longer to recover and you don't get everything back. If it's an image-based backup, it backs up everything. Recycle bin, temporary internet files, everything. Doesn't matter what it is, doesn't matter how ridiculous the file is, it all gets backed up, which makes for the best recovery to other hardware. Many backup systems in the past, you need to restore back to the same hardware. Same design, same brand, same firmware numbers, same everything. But now, with imaging technology, you can image everything back to a completely different server. It learns along the way, plug and plays, and detects new things, and up comes your old server but on new hardware. New backup technology has gotten pretty cool. But what about this backup? What do we back up? Now, I came across a client the other day that says, I back up to the cloud. I back up everything I've got to the cloud. Turns out that the reason that their backups to the cloud were so quick, they were backing up just my documents. That was it. Now, people think, well, that's my data. That's the important stuff. That's the stuff I need to keep my business running. In a business, think back to when you put a server in, if you put a server in, and think to the hours it took to put that in. Now, you could be talking for a 10-user network up to, 70, 80 hours of man hours of configuration, of shoveling CD disks and DVD disks and USBs and updating firmware and making things work and adding users to the systems and passwords and making the printers print correctly, making your email signature work, putting your internet favorites in, all that labor, all that work. So there's easy 70 to 80 hours worth of labor involved in getting the server to where it is. But that was 3 years ago. Since then, your antivirus is updated, Windows is updated, you've added more files to it, things have changed, you've added a new service here and there. So it's not 70 or 80 hours, it's 100, 120, 150. Suddenly the time it takes to configure your server has gotten bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So why would you back up just your My Documents? Why wouldn't you back up the entire server? Because if you don't back up the entire server, some poor person has to go and reinstall everything manually. Here comes the hundreds of hours again, just to get you back to where you were before you can put your My Documents back in. Now, for many big businesses, that means sending all your staff away for a few days. Maybe long service leave, lost sales, lost inquiries, lost work, support contracts, all kinds of things can fall apart, all because your servers are down. These days, because servers also can run phone systems and everything else, it could mean the entire business is down, everything is down. So why would you piecemeal backup? Why would you back up just that Excel file or that Word file or that MyOb file? Why wouldn't you back up the whole entire user database, all your email and everything under it? So today's imaging technology backs up everything. Nothing's missed. And then you can tell it, okay, I've got a big, huge backup. Now every hour from this point forward, can you just top it up and make sure anything that changed in that hour also gets backed up? You can do that to a NAS. You can do that to an external USB hard drive. However you do it, make sure it's going to a medium that if your server fails is easy to recover from and quick. The fastest, of course, being Ethernet, the most compatible being USB. but USB is not a quick recovery method. It's a fairly slow recovery method. So you've got to think about what happens. Okay, server room caught fire. I get another server. Well, there could be 15 working days wait on another server, so you're going to have to get a temporary server from somewhere. So you grab your server and then you get your backup. It's on USB. That takes a long time to transfer information from. So let's put your backups on a NAS unit instead. Now, with your NAS unit, that gives you more opportunity also to have backups at the end of every milestone, end of financial year, end of month, end of firing somebody, something, I don't know, whatever it might be that's important to you. Because you shouldn't just rotate through 5 rotating backups a week. You should be thinking about monthly, 6 monthly. What happens if somebody said something in an email 6 years ago, send it to a client, and now it's going through the courts? You've deleted that mailbox because they went 3, 4 years ago, whatever. How do you get it back? Only if you've got a backup. So you need to have archival backups. You need to have regular rotating backups. Now, the system I prefer is to have a backup which is ultimately going to end up not plugged into power or USB. It's going to be plugged into a fireproof safe, basically. It's not going to be attached to your network. What we do is we rotate your backups. So you could use a Monday drive, which you're changing for a Tuesday drive, which you're changing for a Wednesday drive. And what's happening is the drives that remain on site are in a fireproof safe, and a backup's going home with you nightly. And that's great, because if you have an accident on the way home, you got the 4 drives back at work and the live server. But if the live server dies and all the backups are gone, you got the backup you took home. So that's great. Leaving backups permanently attached to networks can be bad. Could be powered on all the time, could be a power surge, could be a fire, could be a ransomware virus that someone's accidentally double-clicked on the network and it's found your NAS unit or your backups and it starts encrypting them. Even cloud backups. Recently there was an issue where a backup agent allowed ransomware backups to get up into the cloud, and ransomware all the ones in the cloud too. So you want to think about making sure you've got some form of backup that's unplugged. I call it air-gapped. It's not attached to anything. It's got air between it and the nearest server or the nearest workstation or anything. It's air-gapped. If you're taking backups home, don't put them in a purse rattling around with keys. Don't put them on the front seat of the car, because if you hit the brakes, it might hit the car firewall, who knows. But you just got to take care of backups. You got to have your 4 drives on site, 1 drive going off site, and rotate them regularly. Also chuck a 6th drive in to do that ad hoc archive backup every now and then. Maybe run that off to the bank vault or something like that. Or put in a NAS unit. With a NAS unit, you can probably store 4 or 5 months worth of backups, but make sure you run off an off-copy backup, an offline backup every now and then, so that that's backed up as well, just in case the NAS unit dies. If you're doing a cloud backup, okay, here's an interesting one. So you pump all your data up to the cloud. Server fails. You need to get your data back. So you have to download it. How long did it take to get in the cloud? Oh, the first one, it took a while. Maybe you sent it off on a hard drive and they copied it onto the server at the other end. I don't know. But you're talking days. Downloading it, it's no quicker. Days. So you're without that backup data for days. Sometimes you've got a relationship with a local data center. You can run in with a backup drive and you can copy the information onto that drive, usually via USB. Well, there's a good 6 odd hours gone. And then once it's on the USB, you've got to bring it back to the office, plug it in the server, and you've got to recover it. Well, there's another 6 odd hours gone. Okay. So cloud backup is fantastic because it's off-site, it's not here. It's you could technically say it's unplugged, but be careful because some ransomwares have been known to hit cloud backups. But the recovery is not so nice. It's good for that one file you want here and there, but recovering entire systems, it takes time. There are some cloud backup facilities where we can boot up off of a DVD or a CD, and then over the internet, we can download your image and put it straight back on the server. But it still takes time and organisation, contacting people. It's not as quick as having that backup right there in your hand at that point in time. So the magic answer to this is have regular backups, rotating backups, archive backups, incremental backups on a fast media that's readily accepted by your server or a future server. A NAS unit and USB hard drives is a good solution if you've got an off-site component. Don't ever undersell that you need every portion of this. If you've got cloud backups, also have something on site. If you've got on-site backups, it's also good to have something in the cloud or in your hand and taking home at night. And do a full backup. So many cloud backups are fairly expensive, so people choose to back up just key files. That doesn't get you out of trouble. It does not save you money. You can still end up in quite a mess and take a long time to recover. So really, you have to back up everything. It's all or nothing. Don't bother just backing up those picture files and Excel and Word files, because if you've got no server or workstation to put them back on, it's pointless. And then, of course, you call the IT guy and you say, can you put my files back? He says, I've got to reinstall Windows Server. I'll see you in 2 or 3 days, and your business grinds to a halt. So you need an entire backup of everything. You need it tested. I'm not talking about a verification. Yes, backup software has verification built in. Sometimes it lies. Sometimes in the environment it tested, it was fine. You need to have it actually tested. You need to have a routine where people are copying files off the backup. And if you can, a test server, which of course we at BTP have test servers, where you run the whole backup and do a DR test to make sure it is going to come back. We've had a few very successful backups that don't recover. And of course we learn from that and go and fix it. Then there are procedures in place. Procedures telling you that you need to change a backup or do something with the backup daily. It needs to be followed. If you're allocating a staff person to change drives, they need to do it. If you've got a NAS unit that does a once a month backup or something like that, the drive once a month needs to be changed. If you've got a cloud backup, it needs to be tested. So you need to have DR plans, you need to have backup procedures, and you need to test this stuff. So you need a complete backup. You need a regular backup. We like to do it every hour on the hour throughout the workday. We like to do big base copies overnight, little ones throughout the day. It only interferes with the server for about 2-3 minutes at the most on the hour, and most people don't feel it. So we like to make sure that within any hour throughout the day we can recover your data. We like to make sure it's going to a fast recovery method, which is a NAS unit. We like to make sure that the NAS unit is also backing up to a USB drive, just in case the NAS fails. It does happen. And then, of course, you can also shoot that off to the cloud as well. If you do shoot off to the cloud, it gets expensive. You might want to just do your key files, but you must have a full backup somewhere else. So backups, have you thought about them? Coming into Christmas, lots can happen over the break. We've got the hottest part of the year coming up. Things can fail. Air conditioning can fail. Servers can get hot. We do maintenance to blow dust out of servers to make sure that they're given the best chance for long breaks. But you never know, things happen. Fires happen. Whole complete buildings lose power. Then you might have some other catastrophe. Have you got a good backup? Can you go on holidays knowing that what you've got in your hand is a copy of your server? Have you got something that you know is going to get you back up and running? Business continuity. Do you have a continuity plan? Do you have a DR plan? Do you have a backup procedure? Are you doing backups? These are all things you need to be thinking about at this time of year. In fact, all the time. We at BTP, we don't let this topic go. We keep drumming this home to our customers. Get your backups in order. Make sure they're happening. We offer these things. We offer to create DR test plans. We do all this stuff. How about you? What have you got going on at your end? How are you backing up? Has it worked for you? Are you cloud-based? Are you NAS-based? Are you USB-based? What's the deal? What are you doing? Do you know what you're doing? That's the biggest question. Alrighty. So if you know someone that could use this, and trust me, we all need to learn to do better backups, share it. Drop a comment. Let us know. Have a great day, and the weekend to come, have a great weekend, and we'll see you on the other side.